So in a previous video, I talked about how I thought Dosundatas, the race mentioned by Scopper Gabon in chapter 1139, were people who were probably half mink, but had some weird animal traits. Of those, I mentioned the Yeti Cool brothers that we see in Punk Hazard. I mentioned Mog Vice of the Don Quixote family. And I mentioned characters like Mary, the guy who is the butler to Kaya, who built the Going Mary, and of course, Caesar Clown. Because all of these characters have weird animalistic qualities that don't really match any other race in One Piece besides mink. Even looking at guys like Caesar Clown and Mary, their horns are specifically more goat or ram like as opposed to being more devilish, like say those who perhaps are Onis, like say Kaido, Yamato, and possibly Gecko Moria. With that being said I would make a follow-up video if I found any more. And I can't believe I missed these guys, but these guys too could be Dosundata. First, we have Moji of the Buggy Pirates, but is now a part of Cross Guild. He, I think, is a Dosundata because he, for the entirety of the series, has always had a weird excess of body hair, and said body hair was always styled in a way in which it looked like animal parts of some sort. He's had bear ears. He's looked like a panda, which that's his current motif, with a weird body hair like Tarzan get up that makes him kind of look like a strong man from a circus or a carnival show. Very weird. He's looked like a rabbit before. He's looked like a ram before. So it's run the whole gambit of how he styled his hair. And that's why I think he's a Dosundata, because this most likely is an animal trait. And it's very funny that he styled this animal trait to look like various animals. That's why I think it's a bit on the nose, but it makes a lot of sense. Also, what's very funny, and this is more of a fun fact about Moji more than anything, but I find it super funny that at the end of the line here, with his current look representing a panda, that is how he originally looked in sketches. So it's very funny how he's come full circle now from being like a weird bear guy into being a panda. But on top of that, and being very fitting of someone who is the first mate of the Buggy Pirates, this then goes back into Buggy, because Buggy's animal resemblance is the panda. So it is hilarious that he was originally designated to be a panda and then ends up as a panda now during the height of Buggy's pirate career. I find that hilarious. But continuing, another character, speaking about pandas who could be a Dosundata, are Panda Man and Panda Woman. We don't know if the two are wearing masks, but most likely that's Panda Man's real face. So with that being said, I think seeing as how he has an animal face but a very human body, it's very likely that he too is a Dosundata. The same goes for Panda Woman, of which I believe we see for the first time on Amazon Lily. But she too most likely is a Dosundata because she's built up in the same way as her counterpart Panda Man. So with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Give me your thoughts and tell your friends about Polypede Works.